There's definitely been a drive to be more disciplined in the negotiations, a bit more prudent and sensible, which often didn't happen in the past. If PSG stick to their valuation, I don't think it's going to happen. If they come down a little bit and there's some flexibility there before the deadline, then it could well happen.
Adam, what was your feeling on the back of the first game of the Premier League season?
It was good to be back. The first 20 minutes I was a little bit worried because Fulham started well. They had a few opportunities and they looked good, but I think we eventually got adjusted to our press. Mount looked impressive, which is weird because when everyone's fit, I don't know if he starts games, but he looked really impressive in terms of leading the press. Casemiro was rolling the years back, and we should have gone 2-0 up in the first half. Then the second half was much of the same. We played well, but there was a period just before we scored where we got a little bit nervous, and you could tell there's still that from last season where we started over-hitting passes and under-hitting passes and rushing things a little bit. But eventually we got the goal, and I thought Joshua Zirkzee, at the time when I was watching the game, because I sit at the back of the Stretford end, I was a bit frustrated because he kept dropping deep and kept dropping deep and kept dropping deep. But then I watched his performance back, and actually when he was dropping deep, he was useful, he was linking things up, and he was making the late runs into the box, and that's where his goal come from. So I was happy to see him get that kind of start. I think Rasmus Højlund, we had our first home game against Brighton last year, and he scored, and then he got disallowed after a long check. I still don't think he should have been disallowed.
But he didn't score.
He did score. He had the ball in the back of the net. He gets disallowed, and you just think, if that goal goes in for him in the Premier League, like he did in the Champions League, he just started firing, and it was good to see Joshua Zirkzee get that. I thought Mazraoui was very, very impressive. Considering we got him for £15 million or something around that mark, I thought he was really impressive on and off the ball. Bringing the ball forward, and it enables us to play Diogo Dalot at left back, which, whilst it's not ideal, you'd rather have Luke Shaw fit. And I did say last time he'll come back to Carrington injured. What happens? He goes away with England, comes back for us injured. So we have to address the left back position still. We still probably need a number 6, and David will know more about what's going on with Ugarte and all those kind of things. But I'm quietly impressed with what's going on. And I saw some glimpses of change from last season in terms of the press and in terms of when we've got all our players out there fit, we're actually a decent side. When you got Lisandro Martinez playing, I think he could form something really well with De Ligt. And again, I don't rate him massively. I don't think he's really a Man United player that should be starting every game. But Maguire as 3rd or 4th choice, I thought it was really good against Fulham. So there's a lot of bright signs. There's positive signs, but we still feel like in games sometimes there's maybe not that control or that knowledge that we are going to score, and a little bit of nervousness creeps in.
Scholesy?
Was you impressed? We didn't know much about Zirkzee. What did you make of him?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I feel like I'm one of the voice of doom again, Cara. I didn't see anything different from last season. I thought they did okay. They deserved to win the game, don't get me wrong, but I thought there was still times in the middle of the pitch where it was just wide open. You think of the time when I think it was Pereira went through. You think of the quality he just got to play minutes against Maguire as well. I thought Maguire did do all right. I like Zirkzee, as you said, he got his goal, a bit of a strange goal, but he liked to link up play. There was a bit of...
Van Nistelrooy would have been happy with that goal. Just running in and getting the finish.
Be happy with any goal. I should be happy with any goal. But yeah, I thought it was a little bit scrappy, the goal, but...
I think you're being harsh a little bit. I thought... In the
what was
press,
different? I didn't see what was different.
We
you
did
know what I think
the
about
first
Man United?
2 chances for
you
Bruno.
Try and score with every single attack. You can't do that. There's never anybody. There's never a midfield player just right for 5 minutes. We're just going to keep the ball. Let's take the sting out of the game for a minute. Everything's end to end, end to end, end to end. And someone like you watch City on Sunday. You watch Kovacic. Just sets the sting out of the game. Come on, we're just going to keep the ball for 10, 15 minutes. I feel with United, Bruno He's trying to hit passes all the time. There's Casemiro running, overlapping people. They're all over the place at times, and I still think that's chaos. Now, they had 2 or 3 good chances, and if they'd won the game 3-0, you wouldn't have been surprised. But Fulham, and I don't think Fulham are going to be, I'm not going to be a top team, are they? We're going to play much better teams than that. And other teams will take advantage of that. I like Mason Mount. I thought he looked really sharp. We need to see something from him, of course we do. So I didn't see
I did
different.
think we created the two chances that Bruno should have scored. They came from us pressing them on the front foot and trying to win the ball back early. And I thought we did that well. And there were times where Fulham were trying to play out.
Last year, though, I thought we've done that for the last 2 years.
I don't think we did it enough, though. And it was often like Bruno would go on his own and then he'd look back and everyone else is still behind him somewhere. And it felt like it was more of a organised team movement. But there were those periods where we weren't at it. But again, it's early doors. I'm a little bit more up to just say 21 is coming, Scholes. Go on. Have a little bit of optimism.
I
wants that for his socials.
I hope it is. Like, it's again like you said with Mason Mount. Now, he looked really sharp. But where does he fit in?
I know, that's one. I think it improves our bench massively. I'd rather Mount coming on than McTominay. But at the same time...
What do you think when the subs came on? You see, with 10, 15 minutes ago, we're bringing two centre-halves on.
I think that's more fitness. I don't think Maguire played 90
I know it was, but I thought, geez, we're trying to win a game.
De Ligt's good though, isn't he?
I know we won, but we saw the two centre-halves come.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Johnny Evans rolling back the years. It's weird.
Johnny Evans, De Ligt, yeah, it was
Still
strange.
weird.
And
What area, Scholes, if there's a week to go in the transfer market or we're 10 days away, so...
Gundogan. Just that midfield. I know it's not going to happen, but I think that's the type of player Man United will need.
So Man United, though, it looks, you just mentioned Ugarte from PSG, he's like a holding midfield player, but he's more like, I think he just runs everywhere, pressing people. I mean, would you rather them almost go for almost like a Zubamendi type of, like a Paul Scholes?
Yeah, a Zubamendi or I'm going to say Gundogan. I think he's just...
A controlling midfield player.
A controlling midfield player, just to set the sting out of play. I think Gundogan's perfect for that. I've not seen too much of Ugarte. I think I saw him a couple of times last year. I'm not sure technically.
I don't think so.
I think the thing with him...
I'm not sure technically he's good enough. He seems to be a little bit more of a, like an Amrabat.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit better.
I think he led the tackles in both the last two seasons. He's led his respective league in tackles, and I think we're bringing him in for that. I think our physical levels will very easily run over, and I think in bringing the likes of De Ligt in, Mazraoui, I think we're bringing that physicality up of the team a little bit. But I'm a bit questioned. I'm not really sure.
We need somebody to come in and win tackles. We need somebody to come in and control a game of football, so it's not up and down every 2 minutes. And you can see goals, you can score goals. Yeah, of course you can. Just needs to be someone with a brain, a football brain, just to relax everything down. And again, tell Bruno, keep the ball for 5 minutes, please.
It's funny when sort of you watch Casemiro and you think obviously the career he's had, he's won 5 or 6 Champions Leagues. But sometimes when I'm watching a game and he's playing the holding midfield role, sometimes, as you said there, he'll run behind the strikers or he'll be between the lines or something. And you're watching the game thinking, do you understand what I mean? It's like,
yeah, of course, and that's why he's there. You think of what he's done at Real Madrid, playing that position. You think he's got the experience. Surely,
just stand still.
Just stay there, don't move, and just organise everything around you, control things around you. But again, he's off, he's flying everywhere.
I think that comes down to again, the control. If we have a bit of control, I don't think Casemiro feels the need to go running everywhere. I think he's just trying to put out fires and stuff.
Shouldn't he be that?
Maybe, yeah. But it's Casemiro.
Well, David, are they going to get one in for the window?
Just on that point, the controller at Real Madrid for all those years was Luka Modric, not Casemiro. I remember being at Anfield when Casemiro was flying into slide tackles down at the touchline. That wasn't the controller, and Man United need that Modric. They're really easy to find. So Ugarte is a player that the club really like, and if the deal is right, then they could do it before the window shuts. But PSG have always been holding out for pretty much what they paid for him, which is around 60 million.
And Man United doing deals differently with the new regime in terms of they are haggling more, they're waiting to get the best deal. They may actually walk away from a deal if it doesn't work. That's probably something that Liverpool have done in the last sort of 5 or 6 years. Because United have always been seen as this team who'll just pay whatever the other club wants.
There's definitely been a drive to be more disciplined in the negotiations, a bit more prudent and sensible, which often didn't happen in the past. And clubs took advantage of that, as you say. And so I think the price point that United have got all of their signings this summer has been pretty decent, to be honest. No major complaints. And that's what they're trying to continue with Ugarte. So if PSG stick to their valuation, I don't think it's going to happen. If they come down a little bit and there's some flexibility there before the deadline, then it could well happen. People sort of saying, well, it might be a loan with an obligation to buy. That's PSG's perspective. Manchester United, that's the same as a permanent transfer, and it doesn't really make much difference in the PSR calculation. And Man United do have a bit of work to do on that front, whether people like it or not. And And if it's not going to be him, then they do have other possibilities as well. I'm sure you've seen names flying around. It was Sander Berge, but he's now going to Fulham. I think Fofana, Monaco's been mentioned, and there'll be more, whether we've heard them or they've kept them under wraps. But, it's possible that McTominay stays if he decides that he doesn't want to make one of the moves that's being presented, because I think Man United would do a deal for him, but they'll respect his decision equally. And if he doesn't depart, do you have the space to bring somebody in? So I think there's a lot to consider at Man United before that deadline, and largely it will be on outgoings before finalising maybe one more player in.
So that was Adam McKola back on his old stomping ground at the Overlap, chatting to the legend that is Paul Scholes and the other legend that is David Ornstein, chatting about Manuel Ugarte. It was interesting what Ornstein had to say about that. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that deal. Also as well, the midfield debate there, the midfield chat with Paul Scholes was another interesting one. Do you agree? Do you think Scholes was being a little bit harsh, or do you think he had a valid point? I mean, let's face facts. Paul Scholes knows a little bit about playing in midfield, doesn't he? Really interesting discussion and debate there between the lads as well. Hopefully, Manchester United can get Manuel Ugarte in. It seems to be everyone agreeing that we need a midfielder. We need someone who can come in. Manuel Ugarte looks like the obvious one. Hopefully, he'll be arriving very, very soon. Big thank you to The Overlap. Make sure you go and check out all our other videos as well. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. I've been Jay Motti. This has been Adam McKola at The Overlap. Thanks for watching.